Shreya, good morning and thanks a lot for that. Welcome viewers to the Market Opening Business Today show. Let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world first. Global markets in a flux as Donald Trump changes the rules of the game. White House announces it will control Venezuela's oil exports indefinitely hours after U.S. forces seize two sanctioned oil tankers, one flying a Russian flag. U.S. markets also dragged down by major financials after Trump says he will ban institutional investors from buying single-family homes. Global geopolitics fails to pause the Indian economic juggernaut. Government estimates better than expected GDP growth this fiscal year. Also revises the forecast to 7.4%, higher than RBI's 7.3% forecast. Nominal GDP growth is, however, seen at a 5-year low of 8% against 9.8% last year. The second advance estimates is to be announced next month and may be still higher because of the new base year. Markets eagerly await the first fresh public issue of a government-owned company in 26 months. A 1,071 crore rupees IPO of Bharat coking coal opens tomorrow, and it's already commanding a grey market premium of over 50%. All proceeds will go to the parent company Coal India, whose share is up 14% in a month. Income Tax Department joins the war against cryptocurrencies, warns the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance about unregulated, anonymous and borderless movements of funds, says offshore exchanges, jurisdictional challenges and private wallets will be making holdings opaque and detection of taxable income difficult. LG Electronics India in spotlight as a 3-month shareholder lock-in expires today. Nearly 15.2 million shares hit the market. The stock is down 15% from its post-listing highs, but continues to trade above 1140 IPO price. Let's straight away look at the big breaking news coming in this morning. In a major boost to Make in India program, the Adani Group has tied up with Brazil's Embraer to build commercial aircraft in India. According to the Times of India, Adani will set up India's first final assembly line for commercial fixed-wing aircraft to manufacture Embraer's regional jets used on short and medium-haul routes. With seating capacity between 70 and 146 passengers, Adani Aerospace had signed an MOU with Embraer in Brazil last month for the project. Remember, details on the location, investment and timelines are yet to be disclosed, and a formal announcement is also expected later this month at Hyderabad Air Show as well. Both the companies have so far declined to comment on the same. But right now, if you look at, all eyes will be on how Adani Group really fares in the stock prices of the flagship firm Adani Enterprises is already holding up above the flat line in trade as far as how the markets are settling in the pre-open trade right now. Let me actually go across to both our experts now. Shail Bhatnagar, our consulting editor for markets on Business Today, is with us, and joining in our external expert, Gaurang Shah, is also with us. Warm welcome to you, Gaurang. Good to have you with us. And of course, a happy new year. I'm meeting you for the first time in the new year as well. Hopefully, this year turns out to be a fabulous one for you, for your loved ones as well, and may turn out to be the most profitable year yet for everybody at your clients' end as well. So thanks a lot. Do give us a sense of how are you looking at this big breaking news when it comes to Adani Group tying up with Brazil's Embraer, and what does it mean for the entire space then?
Thank you so much, Sakshi, for the season's greeting as well as wishes for the new year. Wishing you, my good friend Shail, I'm meeting you and Shail Bhai for the first time in this 2026. And wishing all the viewers of India Today and Business Today television a very healthy and a prosperous new year. And hope you stay in great health throughout the year and many more years to come. At the beginning of the year, Sakshi, we actually came out with an outlook for this calendar year 2026. We are of the opinion that 2026 could be a better year compared to 2025 in terms of returns for the index. 12 to 15% on the conservative side on Sensex and Nifty. And if you are a little bit more aggressive and if you are able to understand well, and if you do stock picking, then you might end up getting better returns. This news flows as far as Adani and Embraer is concerned, I think it is only a step forward for the aspirations that we all have in terms of what India can be in terms of large manufacturing hub and becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat, which the Honorable Prime Minister has always mentioned about. And I think this is the need of the hour, to be very honest. I think Indian aviation industry is growing at a very fast pace. We are opening up new airports, plenty more lined up, and of course, in terms of connectivity and the dependency of India in terms of acquisition of aircrafts for whatever reason, be it commercial or otherwise. And Embraer happens to be a very strong name in terms of aircraft manufacturing capabilities and capacities. It's a long drawn process, Sakshi. It's just the beginning. At least it's a step forward. I think as we go into the future, we'll have more clarity about this. But a strong step and more positivities as far as Atmanirbhar Bharat is concerned.
Fantastic. Going across to Shell now. Shell, I think just about 7 seconds to go before the markets open. What is it going to be important for the market investors to really keep in mind today, and what are you watching out for?
Well, Sakshi, the markets are about to open and they're right there in front of us. A bit of a backstep on the Nifty in particular, 0.5% lower, 0.16% lower, and that's because of what you mentioned at the beginning of the show. Lots of issues in the global geopolitical space, and the markets are not very happy with it. So index-wise, it's going to be flat to weak. 26,000 is something that the bulls are not willing to give up, and 26,200 is not something that they're able to break. So a narrow trading range for the Nifty, at least for the next 2 days. Let us see what the weekend brings, and then we'll take a call on the markets on Monday. This is the earnings season, and the pre-budget rally is right there in the market for us.
Absolutely, Shell. Gaurang, I think earnings season is going to be getting into full flavor next week. What are you expecting this time around in Q3? Some of the business updates have already started to trickle in for consumption-oriented names, even the banking names at large. What is the broader sense this time?
So, Sakshi, the view is that the shade and the color for the Q3 earnings, which will be a curtain raiser from next week, Monday onwards, I believe, 12th. And our sense is that given the, like you rightly mentioned, the business update, especially from the BFSI segment, that is private sector banks, public sector banks, and NBFCs. Along with that, we had business update from gems and jewelry. We had business update from FMCG sector. Looking at all these positivities, I think the shade and the color could be better than what we've seen in Q2. And the sense is also, Sakshi, that Q4 and the next financial year could be even better. The only joker in the pack is the tantrums that President Trump is throwing around. That's the only joker in the pack. I hope that the geopolitical situation does not turn out to be uglier than what we have expected, and remains to be seen what's the next move as far as his aspirations are concerned. But I think relatively we are, as of now, insulated from those Trump tantrums as far as his aspirations are concerned. But earnings would be a driving factor. That's what I strongly believe.
Absolutely. Shell, any key stocks that are coming onto your radar just 2 minutes, from the markets yet? Any big names that you may want to flash in front of our screens as far as viewers are concerned?
Sakshi, I would pay attention to the entire PSU back. That's simply because of the rally that we are seeing in the pre-budget space. So PSU banks, PSU metals, in particular, you mentioned the Coal India instance of the IPO. So keep an eye out on Coal India. That itself is a great stock to watch.
Absolutely. Gaurang, we'll take your view there. Are you also looking at BCCL in an interesting fashion? Tomorrow this IPO opens up. Grey market premium soaring about 50% or so, indicating a lot more interest already before the IPO also opens up. What is it that you would advise clients and investors to really look at here?
So, Sakshi, I think it will be later this evening that an IPO note will be out from our research department. I'll give you a small disclosure. I forgot to give that all recommendations are going to be a part of our research team, fundamental recommendation from a long-term point of view. Our company, Geojit, or myself, we do not have any kind of personal investments, no financial interest, no conflict of interest. But we give advice to our clients on similar lines. They might have their investor interest. So I was listening into the commentary of both Bharat Cooking Coal as well as Coal India Management. It was yesterday or day before. And the commentary was very, very strong in terms of business outlook. And the more positivity is the kind of quality of coal that we are having, with added number of washeries to wash that coal that comes out from below the earth. Bharat coking coal, I think the valuation is fair enough. I won't be able to give a specifically subscribe or avoid because we are not yet come out with the IPO note. But I think it should definitely create a lot of interest from investors' point of view, not listing gains point of view.
Okay. One other space that I wanted to just take your view, Gaurang, on is the gems and the jewelry space, with Titan coming out with better than expected business updates. We saw the entire gems and jewelry space also in full flavor yesterday. Some of them are even moving in today. Like look at Thangamile, it's up by 5.5%. Senco again is on the move. How are you looking at the gems and jewelry space right now?
So, our disclosure again to answer the first question on Coal India and Bharat Coking Coal, we have a positive coverage on Coal India on the fundamental side from a long term point of view. For gems and jewelry segment, I think the fear, Sakshi, was the price of gold and silver. And the anticipation that a lot of people had was that people will restrain from stepping out of their house and making any kind of purchases. So while the wisdom has prevailed upon investors not going in for jewelry if they're looking at precious metals and asset class, but going in for small uh, coins or something like that from an investment point of view for uh, jewelry, fashion, or for personal use. I was listening with the commentary. A lower carat rate is also something that people have now started to get attracted because of the price of 22 and 24 carat gold. They have come out with a lot of offers for across category, young, middle-aged, and senior citizens. Titan company is something that we've been positive in for a pretty long period of time. They did an acquisition of lab-grown diamond company. Before that, they did an acquisition of DDMAS in Dubai. Before that, they did an acquisition of Carrot Lane, which is a high-end platinum jewelry making company. And of course, Titan happens to be having a balance sheet which is diversified across. It is not only dependent on gems and jewelry. It's got gems and jewelry, wristwatches, perfumes, personal care, eyewear, accessories, whole host of things. And I think it is virtually at its new lifetime high, Titan, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, got that. Shell, let me come to you. A lot of those, erstwhile favorites are coming back. The defense names, BL, they're also flashing up in screens right now. So the defense space is coming back. Do you think in the run-up to the budget, this space will be in thick action?
Sakshi, you're absolutely right. But again, I point out to the geopolitical issues that are coming up so starkly on the radar. Gaurang, my dear friend, mentioned them about the tantrums that are being thrown. You've seen what's happened in Venezuela. Is Greenland next? We don't know. Most probably, yes. Look at the run-up in Europe in terms of how the militaries are facing each other. So defense is a no-brainer. BELHAL in top shape. And of course, it's the pre-budget tadka in defense as well. Sakshi.
Gaurang, I think you have been a biggest voice on Business Today television and on India Today last 2 years, how you focused on the defense space, constantly, told through various cycles, ups and downs, you've told our viewers that, defense is a large, longer theme that everybody has to focus on over the next 5-10 years, and even more if you are a long-term investor. What is it that is bringing your attention back to the defense space at this point in time? How are you looking at the current geopolitics and the kind of focus, again, this space is garnering?
So, Sakshi, the confidence has only got reinforced, to be very honest with you. Extremely positive on the entire defense pack. And I also mentioned discussing with you with Shelby on your channel and advising investors that if you eventually decide and understand to invest in defense sector, have 3 to 5 year plus kind of time horizon, because these are all high precision engineering products with super high technology. It's not like a defense company will get an order today and tomorrow morning they'll deliver it. No, it's not like that. It is a complex engineering product and it takes time. You get to make a prototype, then you get it passed through various tests, and eventually you get an approval for mass scale production. Geopolitical situation, whatever has evolved and what is likely to evolve with the kind of statements that have been made by President Trump, that will remain a tailwind. But I am more optimistic about the government policy and the capability and the capacity of not only government defense PSU companies, but also private companies which are participating and contributing to the PSU for the defense sector. Still remain positive on names like BL, Mazgaon Dock, Cochin Shipyard, MTAR Technologies. I mentioned this name a couple of times in the past, Sakshi. And along with that, private sector players like Bharat Forge and L&T, we remain positive on these companies.
Okay, fantastic. One more good news that came in yesterday and after the market hours, viewers, is how India is projected to clock in this robust 7.4% economic growth in FY26, underscoring the economy's resilience and amid global headwinds as well. Government measures from tax relief to GST tweaks, they're expected to support the demand, while manufacturing and services also remain key growth drivers. And on that note, let's actually listen into, the economist Shraugata Bhattacharya, the senior fellow at CPR and member of the Monetary Policy Committee, and Siddharth Sanyal, the chief economist at Bandhan Bank, on what kind of nominal growth number we can now expect in the upcoming budget in the next fiscal.
My sense is that they will be taking forecasts from a lot on inflation and then the deflator, GDP deflator, from a lot of sources. So I'm sure from the Reserve Bank, from other sources, government think tanks, the Chief Economic Advisor's Office, etc. So all of that. My own sense is that given the forecast of the Q1, Q2 of next year, and hopefully we'll be at around a 4%, 3.5% to 4% level for the CPI, and more or less 2.5% to 3% for the WPI in next year. And given the preponderance of the WPI in the deflator, my own guess is that they will be sticking to somewhere close to about 10%.
We have a very similar expectation that these days, I would say next year you can expect partial normalization of that particular gap. So somewhere in the range of 2 to 3 percentage point kind of additional, gap between nominal and real GDP. So somewhere just around the double digit plus or minus is possibly a very, very realistic estimate for the upcoming budget.
Gaurang, coming back to you, I think, we would want to understand from you, how would you look at this GDP estimate and what kind of, tone would it set for the upcoming budget? That's where all the eyes will be. 1st of February, how are you looking at what augurs for the investors, market participants at large now?
So Sakshi, this is my personal take, to be honest. 7.4 is a decent, not only decent, I think it's an exceptionally outstanding growth rate if we happen to deliver that in FY26. My take, personally, 7.4 or 7 or 6.5, even at 6 or 6.5, Sakshi, there is not a single economy, according to me and what I understand, in the world that can come and stand shoulder to shoulder with us. So leave aside this kind of, it will be a super, super phenomenal growth rate. And of course, we got to do much better than what is expected out of us from 7.4 in FY26. And my sense is that yes, and imagine, Sakshi, this rate is despite the Trump tariff tantrums. So if in the next couple of months, if we are able to walk our way through both India and US with this decisive resolution for the state tariff, I think the run rate could be even better. Having said that, for the budget, look, Sakshi, budget comes every year. And every year before the budget, there are a lot of expectations that are voiced by market participants. Yes. But let's understand one thing. Government, Finance Ministry and the Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji, has to walk the talk. They have to look at long-term growth, not short-term populist measures to make people happy. And whatever they have delivered up till now, I'm extremely pleased and I'm very, very sure that they will keep the financial discipline in mind and they will use their wisdom and fine sense of judgment when it comes to delivery of budget. And it will be growth oriented. It will be a budget which will have a lot of answers to the unemployment right now when turning into employment opportunities, easing out taxation and other complicated roles. And one thing that I want clarity by the Honorable Finance Minister in this budget is what is India's government stance on Bitcoin or crypto. I think they should clear that air.
Very important. Very important. Thanks a lot then, Gaurang, for sharing with us all these wonderful insights. It's always a pleasure to have you with us on Business Today and on India Today. And hopefully we will catch up very soon yet again on the channel very soon. Thank you so much for being with us. And with that, viewers, it's time for a short break now. Don't forget to tune in at 3 p.m. for all the market closing action. I'll be back for that as well. Stay tuned.